It's a battle between two promotion challenges in WSL 2. Games hardly come bigger than this one. 1 point separates Newcastle United and Crystal Palace, fighting for firm footing on the shifting sands at the top of the table. Well, the winners' promotion odds will shorten drastically in a couple of hours' time. Newcastle hope it's them. Here comes Charlotte Wardlaw. And couldn't play it into the path of Jordan Nobbs ahead of her. Well, I doubt either side will leave Gateshead International Stadium tonight satisfied with a point. I'm your commentator, by the way, Cameron Pope. Pleasure to bring this one to you. In many ways, the game of the round. Best to last. Nobbs forward again. And cleared by Amy Everett. Freya Gregory's ball forward. Huge 3 points in midweek for her side. There can be no underestimating the boost that 2-0 win on this ground against Birmingham will have given them. The gap to second trimmed. There was a win for Birmingham, just their second in 5 games in the league over Sheffield United earlier on. Alison Swaby's ball. Something to be chased here. And Gemma Purfield was there first, and Anna Tamminen will clear. Well, Crystal Palace kept the pressure on last weekend, returning after the month-long break in fixtures and continuing exactly where they'd left off, really, with the win over Nottingham Forest. And their win over Birmingham, the perfect result to sign off on in mid-February. Newcastle enjoying plenty of possession in these opening phases. No way through, though, for Aoife Mannion. Here's Veerden. Forward by Jamie Lee Napier. Up in the direction of Emily Murphy. Plenty of time for Napier here. And goalkeepers always like to get their first touch on the ball early on. And hopefully it's not too testing a one. Now, too long from Napier that time. Mannion's going to let this one go. Anna Tamminen had that late start to the season with her injury, but she's been the undisputed first-choice pick in what has followed. Made a debut in the Tyne Weir derby. There'll be another one of those in a week's time. I don't think any Newcastle supporters will need reminding what happened in the men's fixture earlier. Well, a throw-in to be taken by Napier here. And here's Elise Hughes, got there ahead of Mannion. Couldn't find a teammate in goal. Well, these two don't tend to score as many as other teams in their promotion chase. Crystal Palace have netted an extra 3 compared to today's hosts. Interestingly, they're both outscored champions-elect Charlton. Mind you, it's been their watertight defence that has seen them as favourites. Their gap currently a 10-point one over third place, currently occupied by our visitors today. They'll be looking to cut that gap. Having to defend here, though. This is Beth Lumsden. Seen some good passing football from Newcastle in his opening few minutes. Emily Murphy, well, lost that in a tangle momentarily. And so who can Mannion find from this one? Well, Murphy was trying to get onto it. The referee's whistle had already sounded. Boisterous home crowd. Crystal Palace making a 600-mile round trip. And that journey home might feel a little bit shorter if they have 3 points to go with it. Not many things that make that journey short, though. Might they be able to threaten here, really, for the first time? Players in the middle. It was angled in towards Veerden. Palace starting again. Here is Mikato. Swaby. Now Everett. Well, Napier saw the advancing Nobbs there, wasn't afraid to take her on. And her reward is finding Veerden. Who can she find in the middle? Nobody this time. Hughes and Larkin were in there. So no action warranted there for Tamminen. How quiet is her goal going to be today? Carto's header. Annabelle Blanchard. Veerden. In a scrap with Wardlaw, she got her ball away. Danger here for Newcastle. Blanchard again. Veerden approaching. Blanchard going to go herself and couldn't get the angle right on the ball. Dangerous from Crystal Palace. Ultimately, though, not yet a glancing blow even. And both sides will be happy with the way they've started this game. Each have exhibited their attacking might in the opening few minutes. Nobbs down, advantage play. And there might be an opportunity here. Black and white jerseys in the middle, and it flew over the head of Lumsden, and that one will go out. But Newcastle again starting to stretch the Crystal Palace defence. And so Palace will be wary. Don't want to go the way of the likes of Birmingham, of Portsmouth, of Southampton in recent weeks. 3 wins in 4 for Newcastle. Nobbs with the flick, and couldn't get there for the second ball. It's Perfield. Mannion, seeing no short option, decides to go route one. Well, Jamie Lee Napier is being shown exactly where by our assistant referee. Decent distance on the throw-in. Wardlaw got something on it, though. Mannion winning it back. And it's all the way back from Deanna Cooper. And Perfield allowed time on the ball here. Steady start to this game. Hard to say, really, who's on top after the 10 minutes. Wins earlier for Birmingham, for Bristol City. Forest and Sunderland, who'll be following suit. Swaby with the safe ball back to the goalkeeper. And Shea Yanez had to be careful in finding Carter. Excellent ball, though, to be chased by Larkin, who's given the defenders the slip in momentarily, looking for Verdon, and only found Mannion. Might be a second chance here. And Perfield elected not to clear first time. Did have time to take the touch there and avoided that awkward ball that could have easily gone for a corner. First sign of panic, really, in either defence in this game. Oh, flick on by Elise Hughes. And she was looking for Verdon over her shoulder. Tamminen equal to it and quickly releasing Wardlaw. Nobbs not allowed to go any further. Cooper's ball. And the flag does come to disappoint Emily Murphy. Well, there's so much on the line at this stage in the season. 18th round of games. And Crystal Palace doing their utmost to keep pace with those ahead of them. This game started as third versus fifth. It could well change over the 90 minutes. Newcastle will be looking to leapfrog their visitors. And Crystal Palace have eyes on catching Birmingham City. They can't reclaim second spot. And that thanks to Birmingham's earlier victory against Sheffield United. And the shock result of the day, defeats for the leaders Charlton at the hands of Bristol City. Nobody saw that coming, the way that Charlton have played this season. Well, the referee has sided with Newcastle there. Something that Joe Potter didn't look too happy about in the technical area. It's forward by Mannion. Now, maybe a little too ambitious to try and find Lumsden there. Yanez is going to restart via the ground route. Here's Swaby. Not flapping here, the Palace defence, faced with Nobbs' press. Good way to work the ball out from flank to flank, and it's forward by Molly May Sharp, and that is where the move will break down. Here's Wardlaw. Forward by Everett. Now Alison Swaby. Well, it's yet to spark into life, this one. Still testing each other out. Share of the points when they met at VBS Community Stadium in early October, 2-2. Newcastle fought back to steal a point, 2 goals in the final moments of the game. Are we in for more late drama this time around? Now, draw would probably favour all the sides around them. Sharp trying to get free here. Got away from Molly Pike. There's Freya Gregory. Well, an information discussion on Tanya Oxtoby's bench in the foreground. And safety first by Everett. Still didn't leave Yanez long to get that ball clear. Blanchard. Here's Wardlaw. Now Nobbs. We're still yet to see either side take the ascendancy in this game. Still feels like they're circling in the ring. Well, Wardlaw down. Easy decision for the referee, Alice Parker. Now then, what from here? Well, Wardlaw congratulated in having drawn the contact. And this is an opportunity now for Tanya Oxtoby's team. And the wide angle gives them plenty of room to get a ball in behind this line from Crystal Palace. Neither goalkeeper tested yet. It's going to be Gregory or Pike to take it. It is Pike. And an important first contact made by the defender, Swaby. And Crystal Palace won't mind if all the set play is facing the men like that. Here's Gregory. Swap flanks for the moment. Whole game ahead of Mannion. Well, she's gone long, and again, just too long for Nobbs that time. Newcastle trying to stretch play. Tried through the middle, they thought they'd try over the top. Here's Napier. Veerden battling for it, getting a foot in as well. Well, the referee thought about playing the advantage there and saw that there was none. Foul well won by Abby Larkin. Now it is Crystal Palace's turn to use the set play. It's Hayley Ladd. Weighted it well. Veerden will get the second ball. Both strikers in the middle. Still Ashley Veerden, and trying to get away from Gregory. Well, she's toying with her at the moment, and then Gregory eventually recovering, and that will be a corner kick to Crystal Palace. Well, an opportunity here. In a game that is yet to burst into life, it might just take one chance to do it. Two promotion hopefuls. Certainly not the only candidates. Not yet a case of win or bust. Well, the first goal could be a huge one. Veerden and Blanchard combining. The blockades needed and then sent wide from the boot of Napier for another corner. Best move we've seen so far from Crystal Palace. Indeed, you might say the best move we've seen so far from either side. Well, they're going to try again. Annabelle Blanchard once more. And again, the short option. It's Blanchard. Now, no way that Veerden could keep that controlled, and now the pressure is coming from Beth Lumsden. Thinks that's her ball. Well, faced with the first green shoots from their opponents, are Newcastle going to respond in kind? One point between them, and nothing between them in this game so far. Well, Yanez is playing as a centre-back to try and catalyse something for the visitors. Swaby. Now Carter. Forward from Everett. Too high for Larkin to control in the end. Finely balanced game. In fact, very balanced. Should be a defender's ball. Everett making sure, though, bit of rough and tumble. Well, Yanez to get us started again. Played every game in WSL 2 this season, Shea Yanez. Clean sheet last time out. Her late heroics needed to keep it at a 1-0 scoreline against Nottingham Forest. Hasn't called for heroics this game just yet. And plenty of time for Tamminen here. A new sub for Finland over the recent international break. And there was always a question of which team would be able to pick up the momentum after that extended break from league action. Palace going for their 4th win in succession. Blanchard. Larkin trying to turn. Well, can't find a way through. Emma Kelly making sure she couldn't get any further, and Newcastle have dealt with the threat well again. Carter. And she found Veerden all in space there, now running at Wardlaw. Hughes ahead of her in the penalty area. Oh, and then took it on too long and allowed Newcastle to recover. Was biding her time there, Wardlaw. Well, 10 minutes without a goal is soon to become 25 minutes without a goal. Last quarter of an hour has seen more developments in attacking thirds. It's starting to warm up. Oh, Veerden, that was a poor throw. Trying to squeeze one through towards Hughes, and Blanchard with the shot. Still not clear, and over. Over from me, Kato. Corner though. And Crystal Palace starting to put more and more pressure on their hosts in Gateshead. Set play, opportunity to follow. A smattering of gold options in the middle. Tamarin primed in goal. Swaby's header it was. Larkin found a way through Ashi. Shot was powerful, and it needed to be battered away by Perfield. More pressure exerted by the away side, starting to get closer. Blanchard, Verden. Oh, lost it for a moment. Feet too quick even for her. Napier. Oh, going for either a cross or goal, but either way, it didn't work out in her favour that time. Crystal Palace growing and growing all the time in this game, though. Have to feel they're getting closer. Bit of fortune about how the ball fell to Blanchard, and then followed up by Kato, and the deflection taking it just over. Cooper. Here's Gregory. Player down momentarily for Newcastle. Not hanging around though. And Gregory's ball deflected, but fortunately to Lumsden. Now Nobbs. Black and white jerseys in the middle. Swaby committed to it. Maybe got lucky there with the way the ball rode up off it. And that will be a pressure alleviating free kick. Well, Newcastle and their supporters disappointed. They were looking to put the squeeze on the away side there. First time we've really seen them threaten. Been waiting for a response. It was Nobbs with the crossing, really good ball, and then Swaby got just in front. And that was the coming together that ended it. Well, the sun starting to set in the northeast. All the thrill of a night game before long. Coming into the twilight of the season 2, with Charlton zooming out in front. There is a real melee for the places below them. Another close finish last term. It was Charlton who fell just short in their bid to reach the top tier. 6 points behind London City Lionesses, with Birmingham pushing them all the way. Oh, that's gone all the way through. Murphy. Gregory. Well, a big shout from the goalkeeper, and no further danger. Second Palace season for Yanez. Formerly of London City. And Larkin saw that ball just evade it. Here's Gregory back to her goalkeeper. Now Mannion. Foot in by Napier, and it found Ladd. Swabe it. Napier again. Feels like Palace are on top at the moment. We're used to seeing better balls, though, into the feet of Ashley Verdon. Well, Palace winning on some metrics, not the metric they want to be winning on at this rate. Still waiting for that elusive first shot on target. All the creative spark is coming from the away side, though. Here comes Pike. Couldn't find Gregory over her shoulder. He thought it was a Newcastle ball still. Hughes was looking for a player to lay it off to and did find Larkin eventually, but she was followed by Emma Kelly. Here's Mannion. Oh, barging challenge, the one that was not going to escape the view of Alice Parker there. Hasn't had to get involved too much so far, the referee. And this looks set to go long again from the boot of Mannion. Carto. Allowed to take it a long way there for Palace. Larkin with a chip and chase. Kelly trying to stop her. And succeeding, Newcastle. Well, every defensive action for Newcastle, every successful defensive action is being met by cheers. There's not been much to cheer the other side of halfway. That last pass is not met with the same applause, though. Carto's ball. Hughes having to go away from goal. Carto again. No, she can hit them from distance. And that one was straight down the throat of Tamminen. Newcastle being tested. It's a shot on target. We haven't had any of those yet. But it's one you would expect every goalkeeper to pick out with ease. Well, it's a good hit. A hit from a long way out. Never really, though, looked like avoiding the goalkeeper's touch. Mannion. Trying to go up towards Nobbs and Swaby, just making sure her body was in the right position there. No further difficulty for Yanez. And plenty of time for Everett. Swaby. Here's Napier. Bad forward, Blanchard. Lumsden trying to send one through the middle. This is Murphy. Nobbs and Mannion combining. Two experienced heads in this Newcastle team. Another in Deanna Cooper. Here comes Gregory. More one for the future. Newcastle have done well to take this thing out of the game in the last few minutes. It was starting to work against them. And the momentum for Crystal Palace has ebbed and flowed in their favour, but on the way now. Still needs just one moment to open this game up. Lumsden. And if anything, Newcastle will be disappointed with how little they've been able to exhibit in attack. Wardlaw with a timely intervention. Here's Nobbs. Big shout of offside there, and indeed heeded. Swaby's ball. Well, we've got a momentary stoppage here. The referee doing the sensible thing when a head injury is suspected. And there might be a little bit of concern here. It's Deanna Cooper who's down. No need for the physio, says the referee. And Tamanent coming across to consult. And Cooper back on her feet. Meanwhile, there are impromptu information exchanges ongoing among the Palace players and on the Newcastle bench. Well, still 11 v 11 with no physio having been called on. Well, Napier's throw, I don't think she got all of that in her hands there. Left her hands a little loosely. She'll get another go, though. It's an art that we're starting to see more players, more teams spend more time on in training. Phenomenon we've seen coming into the game. The long throw-in. And there'll be another throwing opportunity here. It's a bit more of a defensive game so far. Worst place to make a mistake in defence. Crystal Palace have still been given plenty to do, even though it's been a quiet opening 40 minutes for goalkeeper Yanez. Oh, close from Yanez that time. Sun just starting to dip now on the horizon. A venue that's seen many a great sporting feat. Gateshead International Stadium. Newcastle moved in at the start of the season from the rugby facility at Kingston Park. Here's Everett. And Kato slipping that all the way through. It's a good ball. Larkin trying to get on the end of it. Denied by Perfield, and it will be a Newcastle throw. Not something that Crystal Palace were expecting. Home supporters not taking too kindly to Abby Larkin's reaction there. And there's the punishment. Well, there can be no complaints. Referee following the letter of the law. Here's Wardlaw. Home fans starting to warm their vocal cords. Vaden got in the way though. Sirens blaring. Won't be any alarm bells ringing for these defences from what we've seen in the first 41 minutes. Still very much a stalemate. And the big beneficiaries of this at the moment, you'd have to say Birmingham City. Maybe Bristol City as well. Murphy's foot in. And was flattened after the ball went. Lumsden looked as if she might have wanted to play on there. There weren't many black and white shirts around her though. And we're going to see another yellow card. Well, there's a wry smile to accompany it from Amy Everett, Palace's captain, joining Abby Larkin in the book. Well, there are 2 minutes left of normal time in this first half. Newcastle haven't been able to create too much in the opening 43. And this will be a great time to start with the psychological boost of a late first half goal. Forward by Nobbs, Lumsden. Had to fight hard there to keep it under control. Molly May Sharp still trying to stop the cross. And in doing so, wins the free kick. And Crystal Palace will be looking forward to a return to Selhurst Park for the first time in 16 months. A week today, take on the leaders Charlton in a big game at home. Club have big plans for that next Sunday. The header won bravely by Ladd, and she's won a free kick for it as well. And a couple of words exchanged there with Wardlaw. Forward by Ladd. Hughes fighting for it. Referee was happy with the challenge as we enter a single minute of added time. Here's Swaby. Time for a final chance here. Carto. Oh, got the touch to beat Perfield. And then too far ahead of Larkin. It just allowed Tamminen to get there first. And that might be the end of the danger for this first 45. Well, both sides have set down foundations to build on. Here's the one last jaunt forward. Carto will lose that. Now Gregory. Newcastle's attackers getting primed. Up towards Murphy it went with Everett's header away. And so, with two of the WSL2's best teams meeting at Gateshead International Stadium, we have a complete stalemate at half-time. Completely cancelled each other out. These promotion contenders, no way through either defence in the opening 45. The better of the chances went to Crystal Palace. A battle for supremacy in the race to reach the WSL. Nobody is any closer to victory. Half-time, Newcastle 0, Crystal Palace 0. Well, when the dust settles on this season, this might well be the half of football that Newcastle and Crystal Palace supporters look back to as the decisive one. Cannot afford to lose against the fellow promotion contender. Can they afford to drop points and draw? That's the question. Earlier results have made things even more interesting up at the top end of the second tier. Goalkeepers come for it, and Yanez claiming ahead of Emily Murphy. Away by Swaby. Time here for Everett. Well, there is a chase here for Larkin. Wasn't likely to beat Perfield to it there. No changes for either side at the break, I should say. Blanchard. Ashley Virden plays in the middle to aim for as well. It was kept alive there by Molly May Sharp. Well, Crystal Palace asking the right questions at the start of this half. Quiet at times. The long swathes of that first half, they were the better team, though. And a chance now from the set play. And Joe Potter has pointed out they've got an advantage from either side of the field. They've got players adept at swinging a good ball in from either flank. Is that what Ashley Virden can do here? Well, she's hit it deep, Virden, and unable to get it near a gold-shirted player. Well, Newcastle will be delighted with how that corner went for them. Murphy involved, and the referee said the involvement was an illegal action. Blanchard. Away by Everett. Awkward bouncing ball for Sharp there, who did well. And did doubly well to get a clean patch of grass run into. Blanchard. Might be a shooting opportunity. Carter was having to think about the space. Larkin, and sending it wide. Not quite fallen for them yet, Crystal Palace. Had more opportunities than their hosts, but the ones they have had, unable to cultivate a shot that might trouble the goalkeeper. Just looking for a half a yard of space there, Larkin. 7 goals this season. Newcastle defenders will have done their homework. Know what she's about. She's won it there. Blanchard. Couldn't find Verdon, only found Wardlaw. Here's Hayley Ladd. Blanchard. Verdon. Blanchard's trying again. And ran out of space there. And there'll be no free kick either. Well, we've seen similar, haven't we, at the end of at the start of this second half, compared to the end of the first. Crystal Palace with a threat. Newcastle still yet to get going in an attacking sense, really. Here's Verdon against Mannion. Still fighting for room. Wardlaw away. Wardlaw clear this time. Seeing so little of the Newcastle attack in this game. Lumsden. Gregory. Pike now. Might still be some threat here. It couldn't be controlled though by Emma Kelly. And some threat exhibited for the first time in a while from Newcastle. May have to defend now, though, against Blanchard. Tackle came in a timely manner from Perfield. Still burning slowly, this one. Forward by Pike. Referee was happy with the challenge there. Emily Murphy, who went down. We're going to see Morgan Gautrat enter into play shortly. American midfielder. And we will have that break now. It's Molly Pike who's going to make way. And on comes Gautrat. On for the final 20 minutes in midweek. Assisted to get Newcastle back in the game at Palace in October, and then scored. 90 minutes plus 8 to level the game. Tanya Oxtoby, no doubt, hoping she'll have the same effect. And that was before her time as Newcastle boss. I don't think goalkeepers mind those moments. Maybe their defenders and maybe their supporters do. Shea Yanez coping with the danger again. Here is Katra. Swaby. Blanchard. And shot. And Ladd. I'm still going here, Hayley Ladd. Can she find the right ball up towards Hughes? Simple catch for the goalkeeper. Flowing move from Crystal Palace. But again, no trouble there for Tavernan in goal. Starting to press again against this Newcastle defence. Still, that scoreline remains unchanged from the start of the game as Lumsden is fighting away here. Waited for the ball and found Gregory. And Wardlaw battling to keep that move alive and ran into the defenders. And Crystal Palace stretched for the first time in this second half have managed to get that ball away. Can that reinvigorate Newcastle? Blanchard. And Vida now. Annabelle Blanchard again. Kelly walking her away from the area. Gold shirts waiting for it. Hughes went for the header and was beaten. And that one gobbled up by the goalkeeper. It can go wrong when they bounce right in front of you. We're starting to see Palace find their rhythm. This was the earlier chance, the one from the boot of Hayley Ladd. Whips in nicely, but Nelly Hughes unable to divert the header. Quick to acknowledge the quality of the ball in, though. Well, a free kick for Newcastle. Lumsden unable to wreak havoc on the game in the way that she likes. Tends to be involved in the second half of games. Scored the goal to clinch the win over Birmingham on Wednesday within minutes of coming on. Newcastle waiting for a moment like that. Here's Katra. Gave it away. Murphy among those trying to win it back. Now away by Swaby. Kelly's ball. Wardlaw. Blanchard in the way. Here's Vida. Carto. Sharp now. Up towards Verdon. And they have bodies on the overlap and bodies in the middle. Hughes was going for it and the goalkeeper had to tip it over. Awkward moment there for Tavernan. The goalkeeper taking no risk there. And Crystal Palace will know that they're going to have to take one of these chances sooner or later. Lovely overlapping ball. And Molly May Sharp and Abby Larkin unable to get there in the middle for Jamie Lee Napier's ball. Verdon's corner, and that won't make the highlight reel. Used to sing far better from a player of Ashley Verdon's standing. Player of the month for Crystal Palace for the month of February. Scored in back-to-back games. Lumsden forward. Shouts for offside, and Murphy is indeed flagged down. Well, the hour mark approaching. Still without a score in this game. Well, there's activity on the Newcastle bench. We're going to see the introduction of Lois Joel and Shania Hales, another Newcastle player receiving treatment. Well, final stretches for Lois Joel. Action with Wales over the international break. And it's going to be one of the injured players, Emma Kelly, who's going off. And she's not long come back from injury, Kelly. 2 games in the week ahead of this one. And she looks sprightly as she comes off. I doubt it's, well, it suggests then it's not a serious issue. So Joel on. And Hales will replace Beth Lumsden. Normally introduced, Shania Hales for the final quarter. Interesting that the Newcastle fans would pick a song to the tune of Spandau Ballet's Goal when playing a team wearing gold, but that's what Lois Joel has been treated to. Confirmation of those 2 Newcastle changes. Well, that ball had gone dead, it seems. Swaby's header. And won by Hughes and Blanchard. Looking for Verdon. Newcastle a little stretched here. Ashley Verdon's cross. And it will be a corner kick. And that Newcastle goal has come under siege in this game. Defence yet to be broken. And Blanchard lining up this corner. And this was the chance. It was flicked into the mix by Verdon. Body block in. That's gone straight to the front post. And well, they were expecting more there. Blanchard asking the question of her players in the middle. Well, Newcastle are going to use this time on the ball here. Done very little with it in the attacking third. Larkin ran straight into danger. Here's Hales. And she's got Gregory that she's aiming for. No problem on the defending. Newcastle just can't seem to break down those banks of gold shirts in front of them. A lot of football being played at one end of the field. It's been the story of the game so far. Well, we're going to see the change that Joe Potter brought in ahead of this game reversed. Kirsty Howard on for Elise Hughes. In comes the Scotland international. It's rare that she doesn't start. And Joe Potter may be thinking that she's going to add in a bit of verve into the wide areas. Provided the cross for the goal on last Sunday, Kirsty Howard. Is that the thinking behind it? 25 minutes to go, is still on square one as far as the scoring is concerned. Three points in this game, an enormous boost in the standings for either side. And if it is a win, it will have been hard fought. Here's Larkin. Sharp forced to go away from goal. Blanchard. Looking through the lines. First touches for Howard. Used them to find Veerden. Defenders getting in each other's way, and eventually it's clear by Cooper. Scary moment for that. A scary moment for the Newcastle defence. And they'll want a free kick, they'll get a free kick, and there might well be further recriminations. Yellow card. And it's gone the way of Jamie Lee Napier. Well, the Newcastle fans are singing yellow card, having to provide their own entertainment. It's been interesting, this game, for the way that it's pitted two sides with almost equal records against each other, and they have completely cancelled each other out. Very much a chess match. And Palace looking to make it their best league run this season. They've won 4 in a row in all competitions so far this term. They haven't won 4 on the bounce in the league. And they'll sense this is an opportunity. They've had the better of the chances in this game. Not in the clear though defensively. Hales bundling forward. We are into the last quarter of this game. And Joe Potter and Tanya Oxtoby will be looking for any 1% they can find on their opponent. Sharp's ball. Here's Ladd. Still impossible to tell which way this game is going to go. Well, nothing will come of that long ball. And are we headed for a second goalless draw of the day in WSL 2? Durham and Southampton played out a goalless affair earlier on. Didn't do Durham any favours in the battle to beat the drop. This one isn't doing either side any favours in the battle up at the top end. So much at stake. That is the current lie of the land. Third place, 3 is the magic number this season in terms of the last chance at promotion if you fail to find the automatic spots of 1 and 2. Palace with that slender advantage. That could all change with a goal. Veerden going for the centre. Allowed to run. Palace are hoping it stole off a Newcastle shin there. Newcastle not hurrying to get this game restarted. There is a long way for the ball to be returned at Gateshead International Stadium. This was the earlier chance, Veerden's cross. And it just caught Gregory by surprise by the look of it. Either that or it was an excellent dummy. Well, those in attendance are doing their very best to raise Newcastle and their spirits here. Long jacket's been donned by Tanya Oxtoby for this second half. Not missing a moment, temperature dropping, she's still right out on the edge of the technical area. And her side are having to defend here. Veerden's ball. Carter was waiting in the pocket. What will Everett do with this? Swaby. Larkin couldn't find a way through. It's a good challenge. And Perfield sent to ground as a thank you. Might well be a defensive mistake that settles this one, if anything is going to settle it. Here's Joel. Napier making sure she's not beaten, but she's lost that ball. What can Newcastle do with it here with Nobbs? Gatra. Aiming for the centre. Oh, that was the chance. Emily Murphy. Oh, she'd love to have that one back. Waiting for it in the centre. And home supporters were all expecting her to hit the target. Well, the assistant referee taking evasive action there from Cooper's clearance. Blanchard's ball. Larkin, goalkeeper stretched. Oh, brilliant save. And Tavernan looked like she'd be beaten, somehow recovering. And Crystal Palace still can't find a way through. Well, in a game of the finest margins, the Newcastle stopper coming up with the goods. She might yet be needed again. It's Blanchard. Threading one through, and Larkin again can't beat the keeper. Palace being kept at arm's length. Molly May Sharp here. Good spell this for Palace nonetheless. Blanchard trying to control it and she lost it. And Gatra can get it clear. And Newcastle are continuing to weather the storm. Here's Ladd. Blanchard. Might open up room for a shot, but she's lost it. And Gatra, once again, the calm head, able to take that ball away. Well, it's hotting up now. Larkin with the cross, then the goalkeeper saving once, saving twice. Oh, it's brilliant work from Tamminen. Can only parry into a sea of bodies there. It's not what a goalkeeper likes to do. Doesn't matter though if you can get yourself back on your feet and keep the ball out again. Brilliant from the Finn. Well, a body blow for Crystal Palace. One stopped by the torso of Tamminen. Newcastle will just start to feel it's their day. It's Tamminen who's gone down, actually, so we're having an impromptu break. And the Finn, who might well have had the wind knocked out of it by the last of those saves, is getting some treatment. 15 to go. Still at 0-0. I've seen far worse 0-0s though. It's not been short on excitement. Well, chances like these have been the story of the day. Larkin played in by Blanchard, still unable to force one past the goalkeeper. So what wisdom is going to be passed on here? 14 to go. There will be more chances to come. Newcastle still, though, struggling with creating clear-cut opportunities. Says a lot. Still unable to test Shea Yanez. Tamminen back to her feet. And she's done her best to secure the player of the match goal with her saves in the last couple of minutes. Gatra went to challenge. Forward by Gregory. Hales losing out there to Ladd. Napier. Veerden. Well, Napier down, and the referee awarding the free kick as Joel thought she might be away. Here's Larkin. Well, the assistant referee was flagging for an infringement there. And that's how Deanna Cooper, oh, she's going to leave this actually, for Tamminen. That's how Tamminen will get us started again from the free kick. Away by Perfield. Blanchard. Blanchard. One back by Gregory. And away by Swaby. 10 minutes to go. And if it's going to be settled, it's going to have to be settled soon. Otherwise, it's a favour to all the other members of the promotion chasing pack. Gatra. Advantage played there for the knock on Gregory. Can Newcastle use it to their advantage? Murphy couldn't find a way past Napier. Trying to find across to Hales. She will find a corner. What now for Newcastle? Set play opportunity as we approach the end of the game. Only scraps, mere scraps to feed off for their strike force in this game. Far from guaranteed they'll get a better chance. Then again, they might just get another corner. In towards Hales, over her head. Mannion it was who kept it alive, and Murphy now. Too high. Well, Newcastle and Jordan Nobbs that time unable to keep that strong spell of pressure going. And Nobbs almost in there ahead of Swaby. Started to see Palace's grip on this game relax a little. And there has been a response of sorts from Newcastle. Starting to exhibit some threat of their own. Missed that last corner. Nobbs would have wished she could have had that again. Sharp down, and Palace are playing quickly, looking for Vid, and they were. It's Blanchard. Doesn't have many reinforcements. She did well to hold the ball up. Oh, cross was too close to Tamminen, though. Back it goes from Sharp. Defensive header from Mannion. And Verdon's going to keep that ball in as well. And lost it. Is there a break on here for Newcastle? Flying challenge, and it's gone the way of the home team. And this was the opportunity. Jamie Lee Napier it was, swinging that ball in, but she managed to split the two attacking options she had. Here's Ladd. Howitt's going to chase that down, but always looked like she was going to be beaten to it. Intensity and the pace of the game have just dropped away a little. Tough period for Newcastle in particular. Third game in a span of 8 days. Is there extra Palace freshness going to show in the final section of this game? Veerden. Here's Everett. Larkin. Looking for Howard in the middle. Wouldn't fall for Kato. Palace still pressing on. That was a mistake from Napier. And clever ball to keep it away from the advancing Hales. Larkin again, same ball again, and over the top from Howard. Starting to bring Kirsty Howard into the game a little bit more. But the Scot can't find the target. Well, Howard looking to claim back her spot in the 11. And she was picked out expertly there by Larkin, and she'll be disappointed she couldn't bring that down within the confines of the goal. Ladd forward. Howard's making life increasingly difficult for the defenders. Murphy has lost it to Veerden, and now Blanchard. She's still going. Now Veerden as well. Multiple options to aim for, but missed them all. And the whistle had sounded anyway. And that rather sums up Crystal Palace's evening. Three minutes to go. These numbers do not favour Newcastle at all. Only takes one chance though. Waited a long time for a shot on target. It would be a gut punch for their opponents, Crystal Palace, if they were to come away with nothing after some late drama. And even a point might be difficult to take, given they have been the better side, Palace. Swaby forward. Palace set to keep their advantage over Newcastle in the standings. The point as things stand. Larkin only found a defensive header again. Joel went for it and got there at the second time of asking. And still Palace will press. Swaby. Blanchard is playing Newcastle on their own at times. Not the neatest ball. Larkin went chasing after it, lost it to Joel. And then a big warning shout for Murphy until Veerden was over her shoulder. Here comes Ashley Veerden. Advantage played in Palace's favour. Veerden's cross taken away from the head of Blanchard. Crucial defensive intervention, and it is a corner. Well, the referee's called for a momentary stoppage. Yellow card. One that's been met with some confusion there. Charlotte Wardlaw getting Newcastle's first card. of this game that looks set to end in a draw, unless Crystal Palace can make good on some of the threat they've shown. Verdant it will be. Many of these set plays have only found defensive heads. More goalwards and wide. Threat still kept at a low level. And this is ticking towards a share of the points that you have to say, although they won't have come into the game, Newcastle, hoping for a point, it will certainly be a feeling of, well, it could have been worse. They've been under an onslaught as owner Savanius gets ready to come on. Emily Murphy is the player making way, so the Finn has gone into the attack. Four minutes the added time. 4 minutes to find a winner. Birmingham, Bristol City, Charlton, they'll be loving this. Any chance will do. Hales in the middle, too high. 1 minute of the 4 has elapsed. Lost by Gregory. That spare ball will come in handy. Well, Hales went down there. That's going to be a free kick. And an avoidable one for Crystal Palace, you have to say. Because it's given Newcastle an opportunity to put a ball in the box. There haven't been many of them in this game for them. And it comes at a time in the match where there would be very little opportunity to respond. There's confirmation for that earlier yellow card for Wardlaw, by the way. And for the sub that saw Murphy replaced by Savanius. And so it's Morgan Gautrat, faced with a one-player wall and faced with the choice of going for goal or finding a teammate. Late goals are gold dust. And they got one in the previous fixture between these two, Newcastle. Should be straightforward for the goalkeeper, and is for Yanez. Oh, charged down by Larkin. No harm for Newcastle. Tamminen was onto it. Less than 90 seconds remain. Winning run for Crystal Palace set to come to an end. Newcastle can stretch their unbeaten run to 6 games. But it's not the result that either will have been hoping for. Simple catch, and it needed more from Newcastle in the dying embers. Now's the time for a hero. Could be Shania Hales, but she had 2 defenders to deal with. And Crystal Palace, they've had so much of the control. Sharp. One more chance to steal it. Forward by Carto. This is Verdant. Well, there were runners, and she couldn't find any of them. And maybe with that ball careening dead, goes the last hopes of a winner. A share of the points and a blow to both in the promotion stakes. And the race to reach the WSL is going to rumble on and on for both Newcastle and Crystal Palace. The away side with the better chances. Newcastle holding out. It ends goalless. Well, there was pressure exhibited by both sides. Ultimately, though, a sporting share of the points. It was all going to come down to who could take their chances. None were taken in the end. And so it's a result that will favour all those around these two. And there are 4 more games to settle their fate. Well, sometimes the numbers can't tell you too much. They can tell you a lot about this one. 0 clear-cut chances. Newcastle unable to fashion a single shot on target in the 90 minutes. Crystal Palace will be slightly irked that they're going home on the long trip back down to the capital without more than a point for all the chances they created, but they couldn't find a way through. One of those evenings, one of those games. And so they will return in a week's time. Newcastle with the time we're derby. Crystal Palace take on the leaders Charlton. The games don't get easier. This one ending all square. Well, the team spirit will take them through to the end. They'll have to work out whether it was a point game or 2 points dropped. Chances were at a minimum, but they didn't lose it. And you can't afford to lose games like these against teams you're competing for the top spots with. And so it is ultimately a goalless draw, the second of the day after the early kick-off. Durham and Southampton drawing, a result that leaves Durham embattled. A big win for Bristol City against the leaders Charlton Athletic. That's done them a huge favour, just as Birmingham did themselves a favour with a win over Sheffield United. Tricky form of late Birmingham City, but they've kept themselves on track to reach the top tier. Ipswich Town still in trouble down the bottom end with their defeats against Nottingham Forest, and as are Portsmouth with the 1-0 defeat against Sunderland. And for the other side in the northeast, there was a share of the points. As we've seen, Newcastle held by Crystal Palace, neither side able to force a way through to goal. So let's see where that leaves us then in the WSL 2 table. So it's Crystal Palace in 3rd and Newcastle right behind them in 4th place. A 1-point gap between them, but that gap to 2nd place has opened up. 3 points ahead now, Birmingham City. They've seen themselves stretch ahead of these two teams, and Bristol City will also fancy their chances of sneaking into the top 3. Things looking good for Charlton, maybe not quite as good as they looked earlier in the day. They too will be happy that neither of these teams was able to catch up fully. Down the bottom, Portsmouth, Ipswich, Sheffield United and Durham will all be fearing the drop. So let's have a look then. No goals, but plenty to talk about. The pictures from the last 90 minutes. Well, Crystal Palace certainly with the better chances in that game. And it was that way from early on. Mikato with this effort. First shot on target. And had to shoot through a crowd of bodies, but couldn't divert it out of side to beat Tamminen. And in the second half, it will be Palace again who are testing the defence. Abby Larkin with this effort, couldn't find the target. And it would really be one-way traffic. It continued in that vein. Away side looking to continue what's been a good season for them on the road. Third best away record in WSL 2. And Hayley Ladd picking out Elise Hughes. Could have been the moment they found goal. Brilliant cross. And it didn't have enough to beat Tamminen. Newcastle were spending more and more time penned into their defensive third. Later in the game it got the harder Palace would push to try and find a goal. Ashley Veerden tends to get plenty of her own, sets up plenty too. And she was at the heart of this move as Jamie Lee Napier fizzed the cross, but was tipped over well by the Finnish goalkeeper. And it became an increasingly frustrating evening for Crystal Palace. Annabelle Blanchard sending Larkin away, denied by the goalkeeper, who seemed to get up out of nowhere and stop again. Brilliant work by Anna Tamminen. Double save, it kept the score at 0-0. And still, Crystal Palace would not relent in their search for all 3 points. Blanchard, the latest to go forward, played it in towards Larkin, and once more, Tamminen was there. And it will be a familiar story all the way up until the end. Newcastle having to work hard, and a stellar goalkeeping performance kept it at 0-0. And so that's where we end things, with no goals at Gateshead International Stadium. A share of the points. Both of these sides will have to fight again in their pursuit of promotion to WSL. 0-0, the final score.